that Vice President Pence was canceling his trip. He will not be making his big Mideast trip after all, but they insisted that the cancellation had nothing to do with the fact that the United States is now being rejected and disinvited from the meeting that was the main point of his trip. Literally, the quote the vice president's office gave to NBC News was, quote, "That has nothing to do with it." They insisted instead that the real reason Vice President Mike Pence was canceling his trip to the Middle East is because he was needed at home. He's needed in Washington to vote on the tax bill. Here's the problem. There is no conceivable mathematical scenario in which Mike Pence will be needed to vote on the tax bill. None. We have known since this weekend that Arizona Senator John McCain would be home in Arizona tonight, recovering from cancer treatment. He will not be voting on the tax bill tonight. That means since this past weekend, we have known the full range of mathematical possibilities for what could happen in this big Washington vote tonight. We know all the Democrats are a no, that's for sure. With all the Democrats voting for it and all the Democrats against, that vote would be 51-48. The Republicans would win. If one Republican votes no, that vote would be 50-49, and the Republicans would win. If two Republicans vote no, the vote would be 49-50, and the Republicans would lose. John McCain's gone. That means there are an odd number of senators in Washington voting on this thing. That means there can't be any circumstance in which there is a tie vote, in which Mike Pence has to cast the deciding vote. And the only conceivable reason Mike Pence would need to be there for the tax vote is to break a tie. Mathematically speaking, there cannot be a tie. So it factually makes no sense to say that Mike Pence had to bail out of his Middle East peace trip because he was urgently needed on the Hill. I mean, it's a nice story. It makes him sound very responsible and not at all afraid to go to a place where he's not wanted and where he's definitely going to get yelled at. But once again, it is a story that is factually implausible that is coming out of the vice president's office. And it is by a million miles not the most important thing about this vote that we are all waiting for tonight. But boy, howdy, if the vice president wants to get famous for one thing, this isn't the kind of pattern you would want to be famous for. What else is he famous for this past year?